Yeah, I started tennis very early. I'm the youngest of three. My brother and sister, and they played. And of course, they would take me to the courts every day. So eventually, I ended up picking a racket. And before you know it, we was on the court for like 10 hours a day. Like I ain't
Sure.
signed up for this. But by the time I was, I believe, like four and a half, five, we were actually training next to Venus's Serena. And
Yeah.
like I said, my dad is very prideful, very
Yeah.
competitive.
Yeah.
We were fighting to see who would stay. Now I know they were competing to see who was gonna stay on the court lane, who was gonna go
Wow.
home first. And I
All right.
remember a couple times my mom had to come to the course, like, dude, they got school in the morning, like it's not to go. It's like 9 o'clock at night. But yeah, I mean,
That's fun.
we were training our tails off, and I actually never got to hit with Venus and Serena because I was the youngest. Serena's the same age as my brother, which
Right.
is 3 years, and then
Yeah.
Venus is the same age as my sister, which is a 5 year gap. So they're not hitting with a 5 year old, but my
Sure.
brother and
Sure.
sister they would play sets. Sometimes we would switch. I would go train with Richard. The girls would train with my dad, and we would just torture each other. So it was nice, like being in that setting, like being pushed and just being able to look over and see somebody being tortured as much as you are.
Yeah.
And then being able to see like the success, the labors of our hard work. I remember seeing Venus and I'm like, dude, like, and then being able to see Serena at her first debut tournament. We actually ran into Venus and we hadn't seen him in a long time. And the fact she recognized us, and it was like, dude, this is crazy. We were all like just
Yeah.
reflecting. Like it was like it can happen.
Right.
Right.
Oh, we've been
Right.
working so hard and it was just overwhelming. And that pushed me. Like, dude, I seen Serena and seeing what Venus was doing. I'm like, okay, it's real.
You
Like
know,
Right. It, as you said, it can happen,
you
and
absolutely.
that probably put a lot in you to
Absolutely.
validate all that you were putting in at that time. That's real. I like that. That's
Yeah.
we always talk about the impact a player like that can have, to the masses that are outside, but not you. You were right there. You were in the back of the fence watching, watching your brother and your sister
Man.
spar. That no doubt had a huge impact on you.
let me ask you this from a standpoint of like just we've seen this before, right? We talk about how small training groups have an impact on each other and how the people that you share court time with, whether it's on the same court or the court next to you, right, pushing each other. We can take all the grand slams out of it, right? There were
Yeah.
still three black girls who went on to play professional tennis who grew up in the very in an area that was not a tennis hotbed, not yet, right? But so like, what were some of the things like when you guys were all training together before they left for Florida that really, you know, stuck with you or pushed you to want to, continue to put in that kind of effort?
I think overall it was just everyone's fight on the court. For me, like being so young, I was at an age where I was just being obedient.
Yeah.
I was doing the reps. I didn't want to get in trouble, like but looking on their side of the court, they had the whole family there as well. Like that's something that really stuck out to me. Like Oral Scene was there, their sisters were there. Like it was a family effort. Um that helped me to understand later and even appreciate the sacrifice that we
Right.
were all like putting in. Like at that time, obviously I didn't understand it, but now like reflecting back and like looking at what we all went through, that was a major sacrifice on everybody's part. And I just, as a parent now, I appreciate that. Like that is so priceless. Like you can never really almost thank your parents for what they did. It felt like a punishment at the time, but
Right. Yeah.
Right.
dude, just playing cards with my son when I get home from work, I'd be like, give me 5 minutes. So yeah, that really has an impact on me to this day. So yes,
It's
thank you,
awesome.
Dad.